Right, hello everyone. Welcome to Monday night, and it's Art Kelly from 9505, and we are with GRL tonight, Ground Effect Racing League, for round 20 of 21 of the season, so penultimate race. And we're at USA COTA, Circuit of the Americas, Austin, Texas, for a short qualifying 50% race. What could be decided tonight? Well, the drivers is already decided, as we know from previous weeks. Um, But the constructor's definitely still on, so I will take a look at that just a moment. Right, okay. Just realised I shared it in a shared the link to the stream in another league that's racing themselves tonight, which is a bit annoying. That's an accident. Sorry to that league. We'll get moving. Right then, so Division 6 driver standings. We already know then that Echo is taking the championship, but it's a big fight for P2. P2 and 3 in the drivers between JT, ILB, Ludlow, 10th Cannon, and Vatak. So JT is on 159, currently sat in second. Ludlow on 152, 10th Cannon's on 149, and 143 for attack. Um, so second and third definitely up for grabs. As for the constructors, Aston Martin then have a lead at the moment over Haas. So Aston Martin on 353 points to Haas 319. So 34 points the difference. Now we know in terms of a constructors battle that's not a big difference. So that could really change. So definitely keep your eyes on Aston Martin and Haas tonight. At the moment, I can't believe I'm saying this, when there's a battle. I was going to say there's only one Aston Martin. Actually, no, I don't think there is. I think Callum Ludlow hasn't selected his team yet, but I was sure he's Aston Martin. So it looks like we've got both Haas and both Aston Martins. Callum just needs to select his team before we load in, otherwise he could end up with the wrong car. It's Echo and Apex here for Haas, so they're the ones to keep the eyes on. Should be good. And the other teams, so this, still a battle going on for third as well. Potentially second as well, because Mercedes are 37 points behind Haas, so they're still able to catch Haas. Both Mercs here tonight as well, which is Quell and Luge. So both of them here tonight, and very capable drivers indeed. And but then Alfa Romeo are 32 points behind Mercedes, and Alpine only 3 points behind Alfa Romeo. So lots and lots going on. And as you can see, we've got both Alfa Romeos and both Alpines as well, which is great. So in terms of the constructors things that's going on, everybody's here, which is great news. 16 on track as well, but it looks like Callum has finally selected his car, which is great news for everyone because we can finally move. Um, Other league, I accidentally shared the link to the stream in. It's just I said I ever so sorry, that was an accident, and deleted it, and they posted it back up about 6 times. Saying don't be silly. Of course you could post it. I don't like to post in other leagues when they've got a race going on the same night. When they haven't got anything on, it's a bit different. But always feels a bit wrong if they got something on at the same time. So right, so loading in. Austin, Texas. I haven't been here for ages for a race. I do seem to remember is that long right-hander this season seems to be a real problem for people spinning. It is largely because people love to run a higher front wing than rear, so it always it's basically people are running very oversteery setups all the time, and for that corner loves to drag you into the inside. This season, I definitely found I was a lot quicker running a more understeery setup around here. Last time I was here, but to say that was some time ago now. It's been months since I've been here. So you go into qualifying then. So still short qualifying, even 16. We don't do full here, so it's a 18-minute qualifying session. And don't forget that Division 1 always starts half an hour later than the rest of the divisions, so you can always get in for the last half an hour of Division 1 straight after the stream as well. I always nip in there and say hello and catch the last bit of action. And that is on the Ground Effect Racing League actual Twitch, their own Twitch. So we have one of the Constructors' Championship contenders, Haas, out first with Apex. Had me going earlier on when he told me he's been practicing Miami instead of COTA, but he's being a little fibber. Trying it on, he was. So, I must say it's a long time since it's been here, so I'm not really too clued up on what to expect as a pole time. There's something in the back of my mind saying a low 34 to high 33 is probably about right, but we'll see. So I'm really not absolutely sure. To have Bob back with us this week as well in McLaren. Very quick the first week I did comms. It's in my third race in GRL, so still finding my feet a little bit with the names. It's see, we've got a couple of new ones for me. So Panda's a new one for me, but that's nice and easy to say. But the one that's not so easy to say is the Ferrari, which is Jalaninla. Jalaninla. Oh, I don't know. I'll just call him Jalen. That'll do. Jalen. That makes sense. That's easier to say. This tricky first sector, as you can see. Apex navigated it well. So that's the hairpin for the first time. Very much like all hairpins, really, multiple ways to take it. Best way generally in qualifying is to keep it reasonably close to the inner curb, but the inside curb, but not actually using the curb. So when it comes to race, there's all sorts of ways and things like slingshots and switchbacks and stuff like that you can do. So always great. And obviously that hairpin leads us onto the... This is the right-hander I was on about, that it's becoming very slippery this season. But yeah, that hairpin leads us on to the long straight as well, which is going to be easily the best opportunity for overtake through the race. As Apex opens up DRS down 33.9, so we're already into the 33s. I really wasn't too sure. I think I said low 34, high 33, so maybe we're looking more in mid 33 as that's the first lap, maybe. Quell 34.4, JT 34.9, Clubs Gamer, who's getting close to the end of that, will be next over the line, so stick with him. down to the final corner. And evening, Bob. I don't know if you called it, but I said it's nice to have you back this week, buddy. 36.9 for Dubs Gamer. She have really good pace in France and give us some good racing, so hopefully we'll get a bit more tonight. Who was that? Somebody's just gone up. All muted, I think that says. P5 for Alfa Romeo as Jalen crosses the line. 35.0 for Ferrari, puts him into P5. Though he's out there in the other Haas. I think Luge is a bit further around, but he's invalidated, so let's go back to Echo. What would you, unless you're intending on going out, Bob, what would you suggest for a pole position time around here? What do you think it might be? You don't have to answer. If you're getting ready to go out, you go out, but I'm really not sure. As 33.9's been done by Apex already, I'm guessing a mid 33 was probably quite likely. Here comes Echo, who crosses the line to a 34.1 and goes P2, so it's Haas 1-2. Would be important. To Luge then, who's onto a new lap. See, took quite a wide line through the hairpin there, Luge. Okay, that's quite a good thing to do if you're looking to overtake. So you go out wide and get this sort of slingshot effect. It gives you a little boost of speed going on to the actual straight. But it's, on the whole, it's not the fastest way to do it all. You do lose time in the actual corner, but it does help with overtaking. So quite a tricky corner, that one. Late apex, late braking, late turning. It's also a little bit slippery on the exit, so you've got to be a bit careful. And then this blind little left-hander, validation from Luge, say it is blind and it's easy to miss. And I think he wanted to go into the pits then, but was sort of in two minds as to whether to or not. So he's going to have to carry on and complete another lap. Attack. Still in that battle for P2 and the drivers. Get a hilly hop lap in a bit as well. Go on someone in a minute. So Vatak across the line, 34.9, puts some P6 for the moment. Nice and tight at the moment. In qualifying, just what we like to see. Luge not on a proper lap, so who is next round? Ed is. So open up DRS then, head all the way up to turn 1, usually keep it quite far right for the turn in, and down to second, first as well. I think he'll be massively impressed with the Alfa Romeo there I've muted. He's coming out the pits. Invalidated, yeah. I think that's putting right off that Alfa Romeo on the pit exit. Don't think that was the best example of moving out the way for someone. It's invalidate. I'm sure he's on an outlap though, although it doesn't say outlap. It tends to disappear when they reach sets of 3 though, where it says outlap. So here he comes. Let's do the hilly hot lap with Apex then. Already sat P1 with a PB of 133.9. Open up DRS then across the line. As you can see with Apex, this is more what I was thinking with keeping the car to the right to open up the corner. And plenty of curb used, straighten up the wheels so you can get on the power. It is a little bit slippy. And flat out through the right, left, right, little lift through here, and again through this right-hander. And then I think he's, yeah, I think Apex is backed out of that one. It was not me putting people off. I was trying to do a hilly hot lap. Here's Callum then, so we're back to the same spot. And then really fast left-hander. To the right. Keep it to the right so that you can open up the exit and get on power a bit quicker. And then head down to the hairpin. Brake just around about sort of 75-80 metres. Nicely done from Callan. Open up the steering again, get on the power. Keep it to the right here. No need to come in. The surface is smooth on the right, so keep it to the right. You can just make up a few thousandths. It's not massive. Might make up 100 if you're lucky. Loads of curve, as you can see, on the left-hander. Take it over to the left, ready for the sort of double right-hander that will take us into the double left-hander with the late turn-in, late apex. And again, a bit careful on the exit. Now we've got the flat-out right-hander, multiple right-handers. So, a little bit slippery this year if you're using a higher front wing. And the blind left-hander, and it's not invalidated him. He must have eased off the power. So through the final corner, open up DRS again and across the line. 35.7 from Callan, that puts him P8, and at least that gets our hilly hot lap done, so I can stop having to do that now. Potentially putting people off. So what's going on here? I thought that was a bit strange. Yeah, luge. It was showing luge in the corner, but we weren't on luge, so I don't know what was going on there. But luge gets the time on the board this time. 35.8 puts in P10. 10th Cannon. And in the last couple of corners, looks like he might be improving. It's a line 135.2, massive improvement, almost 1.2 seconds, puts him into P8. That is not bad going for a man that I saw. So he feels like he could get out of his league. I definitely don't seem it to me, 10th Cannon. Stubbs Gamer to start a new lap then. Difficult for a set. So I don't think there's many more difficult ones in the game. I think Suzuka challenges it and Jeddah challenges it for being the most difficult for a sector. But there's no doubt at all that COTA's first sector is up there as one of the most difficult. As Apex goes quicker again, takes a 10th off his PB, 33.8. JT also has gone 33.8. Exactly half a tenth slower than Apex. He's in P2. Jalen up to P3 on a 34.0. Like a decent end to the lap here from Echo. He's at DRS. Heads to line 33.8 as well, but is quickest of the three of them. So it's a provisional pole for the moment for Echo. Plenty of time for another run from all the drivers. Plenty of time to pit and come back out again, all muted. Just finished the lap actually, improved by 8 tenths up to a 35.0. There's Panda. Oh, just said it's a bit slippy round there. Always is. No idea why, because there's no sort of elevation in the road or anything like that, so I'm not really sure why the traction is low around there, but it is. All you did was catch a tiniest little bit of curb on the outside, and that was enough to throw the car around. Well, clearly not on a lap. It's not even reaching 8 clear down the straight there, so just going down to this man. So a few drivers yet to get a time on the board. Bob is one of them, and he's out on a lap, but he's spun it round. That's the right-hander, look. That's exactly what I was talking about. So I believe he's just about got enough time, I think, to... Yeah, he has. He's got enough time to be able to pit new set of boots, and go out again. So, yeah, so Bob 1 driver without a time on the board yet. IFR Ed as well, and Segal is the other one. So, Panda. Sorry, Panda, about the ads, but yeah, gotta have so many on there, buddy. Yeah. Thing. So, turn out of track. I think on an outlap here, actually, Shotmaker. I'm sure it's not taking you 7 minutes and 50 seconds to do an outlap, but here we go. Here he comes anyway. It's Bobson, Spinala. Yeah, it's that right-hander, mate, isn't it? Slippery round there now. This season, it wasn't like it last season, I don't think. It's on 21. But 22, it is slippy there. I don't really suffer with it because I use a lower front wing than a rear. So I like an understeery setup, so it doesn't really affect me. But I have tried an oversteer sort of setup with a higher front wing, and it's, yeah, it's getting me almost every time. So Shotmaker invalidates, plenty of time to... If he's going to invalidate, it's probably better to do it in sets of 1 at this point, because you've got plenty of time to recharge the battery. Right, luge. Just going to the end of set to 1. Sorry, just past the end of set to 1 even, just started set to 2. I forgot they moved the end of set to 1 this year, a little bit earlier. Anyway, DRS open down the straight. Not keeping it to the right. Why aren't people keeping it to the right? Keep the cars to the right hand side. Saves you 100 for 2 maybe. It's late in to the left-hander. Here we go then, 4.5 temps up though, Lou, so he made a mistake there on the left hander, but he's still finding 4.5 temps. That would have cost him quite a bit of time as well, that mistake, as he hit the sausage curbs. Through the right hander. Blind left hander. Difficult corner, you do have to sort of go off a feel. And heads to the line then, and he's into the 34s. 34.6 for Luge, goes P7 despite the mistake in the left-hander, so decent attempt there. Starting a lap, let's see who we got. Starting a lap, let's drivers are a bit further round. Jalen's on an out lap. That's well improving, is it? No, he's just starting a lap as well. I find out Aston Martin is just about to cross the line. Callum, as he crosses the line, improves by 1.2 seconds up to P7. That's more like it from Callum. And next up will be the McLaren of Shotmaker. Into the long right-handers. A bit wide through them, but at least he's not spun. But he's validated on that blind left-hander. Shotmakers across the line, 35.6. So he'd improved by 8 temps. He wouldn't have made up any places, but and JT has invalidated his final run, so he's into the pits. As has Panda, so into the pits, but that will be the end of the session for Panda. As Apex clean Nick Pole back from his teammate. 33.7. And Echo crosses the line, stays where he was, so Apex nicks pole off with his teammate. Jalen has spun, he was improving, so may have been able to nick it in the end, but has spun it, so won't be able to. Bob's going into P6, that's very nicely done considering that was the only time he managed to get on the board, so fair play on that one. Callum, where's Luge? He's not improving. I think that's it. Yeah, Callum into the pits and Jalen we know spun, so that is it. Once Jalen does whatever it is he's doing. Onto the pits. Right, so in a way, Apex, well, it's a front row lockout for the Haas team with Apex and Echo P1 and P2. One of the Aston Martins directly behind them in P3 of JT, Quell in P4, Jalen P5, Bob in 6. Top 6 there covered by 3/10 of a second pretty much, so very, very tight. For Tack in P7, Callum P8 in the second Aston Martin, so certainly is up there and able to do some damage if he can. Luge P9, Panda P10. I'll finish the countdown in just a moment. So, Panda P10. All muted in P11 for Alfa Romeo. Then the two Alpines of Dubs Gamer and 10th Cannon, 12th and 13th. Shotmaker in P14, Ed in 15, not putting a time on the board. And Segal as well for Ferrari, not putting a time on the board. Whether they were quali bans or whether they've just chosen to start from the back, I'm not sure. Starting from the back can have its own rewards sometimes, so incidents, as you can see, there's not very many. The ones that are there are just invalidated or speeding into the pit lane, so or crossing the pit lane, white line, whatever. There we go. So, we should see some different strategies. Now, COTA is one of the few tracks you can attempt a two-stop on. I don't know if we'll see any tonight, but maybe one or two tempted to give it a go. It is technically slower. It will show about, I think it's about 6 seconds slower it shows. But of course, you've got much fresher tyres to run on all the time. Which normally means less chance of making mistakes. So let's hit the button. Get into it then. So I think was it 28 laps? I think COTA for a 50% race. So quite a long one really. 28 laps of a lap of well, racing laps. Sort of what I don't know really. 1 minute 38 I guess roughly to start with. Gradually getting faster as we go. So 28 laps of that. It's long, but it's not as long as something like Singapore, for example. So head on to the formation lap. Good luck to all the drivers, particularly those involved in championship battles. I'm sure there's going to be two eliminated from that scenario by the end of this race, so we know the Drivers' Championship is already won by Echo, but a huge fight going on for Pete's, well, second and third in the championship, and definitely a big constructors battle going on. So in terms of that, Haas have the advantage, starting P1 and P2. Got to be a bit of teammates working together, we'll see. Put the tyres up, so as you can see, nobody's starting on the softs, so that would suggest that nobody is intending a two-stop. But I guess by starting on the mediums, you potentially could still two-stop, so it opens up your options a little bit. There you go, as you see, two-stop is an option on there. So top three starting on mediums, then Quell and Jalen starting on the hards. Obviously, if we were to have a no safety car race, that will benefit them to be on the mediums at a later point with the lower fuel loads. Then P6, 7, 8 and 9 all on the mediums. Panda in 10th on the hards. mediums for All Muted and Dubs Gamer, while also for Ed and Seagal at the back, but P13 and 14, 10th Cannon Shotmaker starting on the hards. So a real mixture of strategies. Who wants to start on the medium and who wants to start on the hards. A little surprised maybe that the Haas haven't decided to split the strategy. Starting P1 and P2, have one driver starting on the mediums, one on the hard. Might have been beneficial for them just to cover off both strategies. It's not a massive thing, they just need to obviously make sure they don't pick the same lap, which is pretty easy to do. So, oh, that's not a bad little view, that one. Let's keep that one for the starts. So let's clear the screen just for the starts, and just wait in for the back cars just to finish lining up, and the lights should start coming on. Here we go. 3, 4, 5 lights on, and away we go. It looked like the Aston Martin of JT got off to a decent start. He moves to the outside to attack the two Haas, and he might get one of them. He runs a little bit wide. He has managed to split them by the looks of it. It's important to see through here because the Haas behind him did look like he got a bit of a run through here. So yeah, retakes P2. And we got a ghosted car further down for some reason. So there we have it then. So good start from the drivers. I didn't see any contacts between the front guys at all. But it is Echo who leads the race, having taken the lead from his teammate. But Apex did drop to third at one point behind JT, but managed to get it back really well. Jalen up 1 to 4. Only sort of big droppers off the start are Panda down 5 to 15th, and Vitak has dropped 9 down to 16th. Vitak has sort of fallen off the back, so I can only assume he's had a spin or something. But look at the second Aston Martin is attacking Jalen in the Ferrari. Just to make it Haas, Aston Martin. Gets the better. Oh, had a bit of an oversteer moment. Oh, one and a Haas around. Apex is round. Callum did make that place stick, so that is Aston Martin now second and third. Apex has had a spin. And now he's gone, and that has dropped into P13. He will also look to recover that through the field as we go. All Muted gets a run on the inside of Ed. Got the position for a moment, but it looks like Ed's got a better straight line speed. And we'll have a go at the outside, but it looks like Muted's managed to break a bit later into the corner, so up into P8 for All Muted. Other battles going on as well. Bob down for in P10 at the moment, and he's having a little battle with 10th Cannon. Behind him, Ed ahead of him. So plenty going on. Echo's pulled away at the front by a second and a half. JT just over a second from his teammate, but how that's all turned around, despite the fact that the Haas got away really well, really cleanly. Something happened a bit later in the lap. And trying to pick battles out for us at the moment, and here is one. So this is Ed and Bob battling away for P9 as it stands at the moment. Ed up into 9th. Remember, he started down in P15, so up 6 places now. And a very nice start to the race. And should do that for that battle now. Oh, Alpine round. Is that Dubs Gamer? It is. That was it. Don't think there'll be any damage on that one. It was just a spin. As DRS is enabled. So now we should get some more battles as Luge. Looks, there wouldn't have been any DRS there, mine, but he had a look to the inside of Callum. I don't know if there was any contact. It looked like it might have been, but I'm not 100% sure on it. That is Luge up into P3 for Mercedes. Set to 1 yellow, and I think that's Ed. It is the Williams. Oh, he's lost his front wing. Oh, after such a promising start as well to this race. Apex trying to make his way back through the field here for Haas. And this is a move on Shotmaker. And oh, Ed's out. Ed is out of the race for Williams. And it's over on the left hand side somewhere. I've got absolutely no idea where, but he is over there somewhere. Well off track though, so that's not going to cause a safety car. Or Segal isn't even with us. No idea why that is. Can't view his gamer card. He is Xbox, but I can't view his gamer card to invite him, so well, whatever's happened there. Right, back to these guys then. So this is the battle for P3. So Luge currently occupying P3. Callum in P4. Jalen in the Ferrari in P5. Quell in 6. All muted 7. It's a 5-way battle at the moment. So, Jalen goes to the inside of Callum, but wasn't really far enough alongside at any point there. And soon had to back out of it to hit the apex. Take a good view of this battle now is Jalen surely on the back straight. Does at least trying to fit into the hairpin. Should have looked up to the delta and seen that Callum will not be getting DRS, so should be a reasonably easy move. Doesn't help Jalen that they've already spent all their energy. That's not, yeah, as you can see, there's get a huge bit of lag there as they reach the corner, but yeah, that's going to hurt. You need energy. Being able to use overtake is more powerful than DRS, so being able to use both together is obviously a massive advantage in speed. There's such a problem for Jalen that Quell actually was able to have a little look at one point there. So Quell looking racy. And didn't race last week, I don't think, Quell, but some 2 weeks ago in France. Absolutely on it. Drove very, very well. Alongside again. As we head into set to 1. Let's go back to them. And that'll be a lovely sight for Quell, seeing that red light flash in. Oh, and the Ferrari runs a bit wide. It's going to come back across. That's the tyres a second. Yeah, so both these guys on hard tyres from the start. So they are the two highest hard runners from the start. So they could be in for really good races. In terms of strategy, I think they like to see 16 or 17 laps on hards. 11 or 12 laps on mediums is your most likely scenario, but there's always the potential to pit a little bit earlier or later. As well then, with the extra energy that he's got at the moment, managed to get alongside the Ferrari, did have the inside of the corner, but Jalen was not ready to give up on that, and here comes Quell again. He's going to go to the inside of this sort of long one. Squeezes the Ferrari a little bit on the exit. All fair in my opinion. And now around the fast right-hander. So he's got the move done now. He may need to defend again up to turn 1. As Jalen picks up DRS. I don't think Quell was inside for 1 second. I think he missed out on DRS there, potentially by 1,000th of a second. Goes defensive, back to the racing line. It's a bit iffy, but Jalen to the inside. Oh, it's a bit much from Jalen. He's pushed the Mercedes off that time. It's 2 aggressive. Must leave enough room for the car's width to stay on the track, so are you able to? You must leave them enough that it can have two inside wheels both on track. So here we go again. Quell again with way more energy. Maybe might have learned from the last time and maybe use a bit more. He's not using any energy, he's just using the DRS. Make your life a lot easier to get this move completed by using your energy. Wow. Unbelievable. Battle it, and then I thought that was going to end in a spin then. And look at the Alfa Romeo takes advantage. Oh, goodness me. If this doesn't end in tears, I'll be amazed. So, loses out to the Alfa Romeo, but it's still side by side. There's not great parts of the track to be doing this. Brilliant aerial shot of the battle, though. They both have DRS off of the Ferrari. A superb shot of it. Very aggressive driving from both drivers. And from the Ferrari as well, so all three drivers really very aggressive, not wanting to give an inch. All three want to take a mile. All muted picks up 3 seconds, so only 2 penalties at the moment. All muted 3 seconds, and for TAC I think is 3 seconds as well. So all muted is just falling off the back a little bit. And again, Jalen not in DRS of the car ahead. So, looking all muted, is looking after his energy very nicely. As is Quell, not close enough that he's going to be able to make a move this time, so doesn't use the energy, just uses the DRS to get a bit closer. Car you can see ahead is Callum, who actually, to be quite honest, probably loving the fact that these guys are battling like this, because this has enabled him to get away a little bit. And this time Quell ran the inside, and we've got the fast right-hander and the stop positions again. And this time it looks like Quell's done enough. They will get DRS, but we know needs it. Quell's got the energy to defend this. I don't know, I just feel that Quell may have enough pace about him to be able to start getting away a little bit now that he's got the lead on the other two. We'll see. It's never easy, because even if you make up sort of 4 or 5 tenths in the first sector, which is a big ask in itself, you go down that back straight with DRS and it's gone. So, you know, Luge then has caught the back of JT, who is back up to the back of Echo as well. So we're turning into a potentially going to turn into a freeway battle for the lead. Just to confirm that Quell is holding on to P5. Then it looks like it. There's the straight line speed. Jalen with no energy really to attack him, so looks good for Quell. Back to front three now then. So we're at the moment, so all 3 of these drivers on the medium tyres. There's definitely a chance to undercut around here. The medium tyres, by the time they reach the pit stop laps, are going to be pretty cooked. But do you want to give away the extra bit of advantage for the second stint And the extra lap on the hards to the others, it's sort of weigh it up. Did you rather go a little bit longer on your first stint? Which is quite... It's not easy to undercut when you're going on to hard tyres. They're very, very cool, very cold coming out of the pits, which makes it... You pretty much have to gear down an extra gear for the first half of the lap, going around corners, because it's so difficult, but until you heat them up. Very much on the back of JT, and if JT can't get into the 1 second of Echo, he may become a bit vulnerable, and Echo wouldn't mind a Mercedes going between the two of them. In terms of Apex, by the way, Apex actually dropped back behind Shotmaker, so I don't know if Apex has had another little moment at some point, or whether Shotmaker's just won that place back. So it's going to be important for Haas that he gets back up the field somehow. So let's go back to Luge and JT for the moment. So just to put this in some sort of context here, so say Aston Martin at the moment are the ones that are leading the championship by 34 points. So see Haas winning this race, with Aston second, so that's a 7-point advantage for Haas. But with Callum in P4 for Aston Martin, does have a penalty, so he may become a bit susceptible, may drop down a little bit. Apex has gotten past Shotmaker for P10, so he's back into the points. And here is Luge making a move on JT then to the inside. And JT slightly off the track on the exit, allows Luge to get a better exit. And just behind this, we got Quell making exactly the same move on Callum. Callum comes back. And wins the place back, but Well, we'll want to get past. I think there's little signs now. I think the mediums are starting to struggle a bit. They're getting towards the end of their stints. So, yeah, we're heading on to lap 11 here. So, I think that's about right for a set of mediums. 11 laps around here. So, surprised not to see any of the medium starters pitting on this lap, but yeah, I think lap 11 we'll see the first medium starters pit at the end of this lap, and then they'll probably be pitting over the next couple of laps as well. There's always one or two that want to extend a little bit, so the aerial shot again, lovely, lovely shot. So Mercedes to the inside. Careful, guys. Massive straight with DRS here. You don't necessarily need to be making a move before. He's actually got the DRS, is it? Yeah, it's Quell. Well, Quell's got the DRS, but look at Callum. Well, Callum is set up for straight line speed, isn't he? Either that or Quell gave him the place back there. I'm not sure. Maybe Quell gave the place back. Maybe he felt he'd done something wrong and gave it back. Not sure. This is enabling Jalen to be all over the back of Quell at the same time, but Quell runs wide there and has picked up his first penalty. Looking a bit further down, Apex is now up to P8. Absolutely very important for the constructors. And he's not far behind this battle, you know. He's on the pit straight. He's just behind. If it was just a moment longer, you'd have seen his car appear in the background. It's just behind that Red Bull that did appear. He's Yeah, he's literally a second behind that Red Bull, so he is catching back up. Absolutely amazed we didn't see... Well, we did see one pitter, so Bob's in on lap 11. Yeah, pretty amazed that's the only pitter we've seen, though, on that lap. Quell goes to the inside of the Aston again. The Aston touches the back of the Mercedes. It's nothing wrong there. He was through Quell, but... oh, and he did get the DRS as well. Now, how quick is this Aston Martin? You don't want to give it up. Well, feels like he needs to run wide and hold the position. Felt like he was forced wide, then he's got every right to keep the position if that's what he felt. Jalen's trying to get through as well on Callum. As Quell picks up a 5-second penalty for gaining a place having left the track. So, not good for Quell there, and he'll obviously serve that when he takes his pit stop in roughly about 5 or 6 laps time. And now we are seeing pitters. JT has continued on, he's doing the additional lap then, but the other front runners are both in, Luge and Echo, and they exit in P7 and P8. Now this could be where the advantage for the hard starters comes in. They are right in traffic, so Echo and Luge they're going to have to make their way through a little bit against 10th Cannon. Potentially Apex could come into play. You'd imagine he'd let Echo through. He won't let Luge through, surely. So, to see when we get to that point. But this is working out nicely for the likes of Quell, Jalen, Panda, who all started on the hard tyre. And nicely up. That yellow flag, by the way, is Shotmaker in the McLaren. He did clatter the wall as well. So he spun it round, he's clattered the wall and he's lost his front wing. So that's going to make him pit off of the hards, and that was going to be a horrible long stint on the mediums to get to the end that he's going to have to do. Needs must, I'm afraid. Needs a new front wing. So Jalen sticking with Quell again. Jalen suddenly could be in a position to win this race. JT pits the following lap to the other two, so let's have a look. It should be close, you know. Though, as you can see, he's on the back of 10th Cannon. This isn't ideal. Good news for him is that some of the other guys ahead did pit. And there's JT there, exiting the pit lane. So the undercut has worked. Said the undercut could work because of the high wear, high tyre day. JT will have a minimal tyre advantage for the rest of this race. As Quell picks up another penalty. And Shotmaker does as well, speeding in the pit lane. That new front wing. Hopefully he continues on. Luge wants to get past 10th Cannon. He wants to get this done and past before Echo disappears. And he's just about still within the 1 second of Echo. So he should be able to sort of coast back up onto the gearbox of the Haas. So, got to say that these guys are still in pole position to win this race. But there is going to be some fighting back later on. Quell, I think, has picked up a lot of penalties, including the 5 seconds, who's going to have to serve that in his stop. Yeah, I mean, looking at where Echo is, look, he's only 2 seconds off the back of Panda, who's P3, and Panda's within the DRS, so that is the leaders just there. That is first, second, and third just ahead of us. So, as much as I think the guys going on to mediums are going to have a great speed advantage in the second half of this race, it's going to be a lot to ask for him to be able to do anything about the about winning it from where they are. So nearly stopped from Quell. He's into the pits and he's retired. Well, answers on a postcard for that retirement. You're in a constructors battle. What are you retiring for? I know he picked up some penalties, but goodness me. I don't get that retirement at all. Here's the session as well. Obviously annoyed about something. So, Echo, now within the 1 second of Panda, it's beginning to look very much like this is going to be a two-way battle between Echo and Luge for the win. JT is trying to get past 10th Cannon, just go down to that. See, he wants 10th Cannon to pit out of the way ideally, but still not really due as pit stop yet. 10th Cannon, he's probably still got another couple of laps to do yet. Certainly another 1 lap. Muted, picks up another penalty. So, JT would have loved to have seen the Alpine disappear into the pits. That is the leaders just up ahead of us, so he knows he needs to get past. He can start getting after them. And surely with the extra grip he'll be able to get it through sector 1. And yeah, see, 10th Cannon just has to have a little lift. That is due to the tyre wear, so the extra grip on the hards for JT enables him to get the move done. Early in sector 1, we've got a yellow flag that looks like it's Bob, I think. It is, yeah, so a spin there for Bob on the right-hander. Luge, how close Luge is getting here. So, Amber still leads this race. They're not able to get past him at the moment. Although Echo goes to the inside. And oh, goodness me, Luge nearly smacks him in the back. Oh no, Bob is, he's retired in the pits. Pounder picks up 3 seconds. Was nicely close there to Luge losing his front wing on the back of the Red Bull, but just about avoided it. And Panda's in to the pits, so he, as we know, will be on to a set of mediums. It's Jalen who's just done that on the last lap. It's also going to be quick to the end. 10th Cannon, I think, is going on for another lap. He has indeed, he's going through turn 1, so he's going to extend out slightly. There's Jalen. He's going to go ahead of Panda. Jalen through to P5. I'd suggest Jalen. That's the ghosted Ferrari teammate, Segal, who's not been with us all race, so not sure what's happened to him. Did try and send him an invite, but I couldn't go onto his gamer card, so I wasn't able to. Just fizzled out of battles a little bit at the moment. Nobody within the 1 second of the driver ahead. JT is the closest to being inside that gap, but looks to recover. So he's just got to have 1 lap advantage on his tyres. It's not going to be worth a lot of time on the hards, but a little bit, and every little helps. Get yourself a sponsorship with Tesco. Using their slogan. Jalen 136.9, fastest lap of the race. He's got the gap to the car ahead down to 11 seconds, but that car ahead is 10th Cannon, who is the only driver yet to pit. Surely, I'm pretty amazed he's done another lap. I don't know whether he's going to go to a set of softs and take the fastest lap, maybe. Softs die around here in no time whatsoever, so you do about 4 laps before they're pretty dead, so I wouldn't advise it really, but stands when he pits. He is going to drop down a bit. He might be pretty close to an attack maybe on exit, but we'll see. A little bit of contact between Luge and JT. Oh, a bit more contact now. And guys, pretty basic track. Pretty overtaken, and Shotmaker lose the session. Oh, and I can't select his gamer card either. That's because he's on PlayStation, so I can't help him. JT can't do anything here. Meanwhile, while he's sort of battling, Echo just disappeared up the road. Luge goes defensive. JT ran the outside. That will give him the inside going into the main part of sector 1. But Luge defends it once again. As 10th Cannon finally makes his pit stop off of the hards to the mediums. And he'll enjoy those tyres to the end of the race. So, well, he actually managed to exit in P9. I forgot it is a really short pit stop around here. So, P9, 10th Cannon exits well ahead of Dubs Gamer actually, so wasn't doable behind Bowden, really bad connection, says Kevins. I think you're on the wrong stream, buddy. This is GLR. Sorry, GRL. GRL. Yeah, GRL. Ground Effect Racing League. I'll get there one day with that. Shotmaker's AI decides to pit him. And Luge runs a bit wide in the blind corner, and that allows JT to nip past. Luge is going to come back at him. There's a little touch on him. Well, sorry, Luge, but you hit him. So that little moment there was your own fault, and JT surely this time secures P2. Echo, this is why he's champion. Absolutely, just as I say that, he picks up a penalty. So this is why he's champion. Really close battling earlier on between everyone, and then all of a sudden switches to the hards, and the guys pulled out 6 seconds. I know the two behind him have been battling, but right, so here we go then. Panda on his lovely medium tyres is now caught the back of Callum. So how it's all switched around again, Haas have taken advantage. So obviously Echo is ahead of JT, and we're getting 7 points for Haas, whereas Apex is ahead of Callum, and we're getting a further 4 points. So that's an 11-point gain for Haas. In terms of the gap at the moment, that's not going to be enough. They do need more than that, really. No problems, Kevin. Thanks for joining, though. Yes, just to confirm, it's a 34-point gap, so See, that would get them down to 23. Maybe an extra point if there's a fastest lap there somewhere involved, but assume it doesn't go to them, and that's 23. So I'd also take a big swing in the final race to overturn the lead of Aston Martin, but so Callum picks up another 3 seconds. It's the other thing, he has picked up some penalties, Callum, so I don't particularly want to look at the penalties at this point, because it's a little bit too early yet, and it just ruins battles sometimes. So I've not got a lot of battles going on at the moment, but I don't want to ruin them by the penalties. So here's 10th Cannon, who's pitted to his brand new fresh softs. That's DRS. Why isn't he using energy to get this move done? We saw earlier on, he maybe doesn't know 10th Cannon, but we saw earlier on that Callum is clearly set up with a low downforce around here to aid him on the straight. You will need to use that energy to get past Callum. It's too quick in a straight line as Luge picks himself up. A penalty. Panda then also picks up a penalty. Oh, Mewtwo picks up another one. Handing them out like sweets now. Fair. Another opportunity for 10th Cannon. He uses the energy this time. I'll turn it off there. Wait for it. Well, thing is, Callum's now going to be getting it off of these two. Oh, and Callum outbreaks himself and actually took 10th Cannon by surprise there a little bit, I think. See, ultimately, 10th Cannon's going to get that place for sticking on the back of him, but with the fact that he's got fresh mediums on, he doesn't really want to stick on the back of just sit behind a driver on 9-lap-old hards, so he's got the potential maybe to get a bit further up. So, having said that, the 2 cars in front of Callum have both got penalties as well, so he might get both of those as well, which probably would take him up as far as he's likely to go. Here he goes then, he's got to run this time. And he opens up the ERS as well. And that is move done. But look how quick Callum is in a straight line. So it looked like they had a bit of contact there on approaching the corner. Alfa Romeo trying to come back. Well, unbelievably, somehow 10th Cannon's lost that place and picked up a penalty for it. So seems a bit harsh, but here we are then. And towards the end, going into the real late stages now. We got a sector 2 yellow coming up to that car now. It's a Mercedes and it's Luge. So after all that battling, Luge has spun it. And he drops down to P5. Annoyingly for Aston Martin, that promotes Apex into P4, improving their points haul. And here comes Unmuted then on Callum. He's to the inside, and that's a more textbook looking move, isn't it? That's better. That's better than some of the racing you have seen. That's how you're supposed to do it. So there you go. It's all very spaced out. Pretty much, other than the ones we're watching here, all Muted, Callum and 10th Cannon. Everybody else is spaced out now. There's definitely some penalties that are going to affect things, I think. So keep with this battle a little bit longer, and we'll bring the penalties up in a moment. Sometimes I like to sort of leave. Depending on how many penalties he's got. Right, another penalty popping up. I didn't realise it was so bad for penalties around COTA, to be honest. What's that? Oh, that's the Coasting McLaren, the shot maker, isn't it? He's not been able to rejoin. That is one of the problems with crossplay. I apologise, shot maker. I know you're on PlayStation, but if I could have invited you back, buddy, I would have done. But my what you call it, EA Friends doesn't work. Hasn't ever worked. So hopefully it sort itself out in the next game, I guess. But so Dubs Gamer picks up a penalty, so that might help Callum. And he's also lost a place actually to attack. Road, lap 25 now. And Echo looking very, very comfortable out in the lead. Top three, good for their results here. So Callum, that's another penalty. Really does need to be careful because he could. I mean, I don't know if Attack's got penalties himself. Dubs has got penalties, but he's not. He's only got the 3 seconds. Dubs, we know that. I think we will bring those up now. Then let's have a look. So yeah, Echo just the 3 seconds, which we knew in a way. 6 for Panda, Luge 6 as well. Which would mean he would jump below 10th Cannon. 15 seconds for all muted, which means he would drop below Callum. He's got 12 seconds. As Dubs Gamer gets back past Attack. Where's Attack? Oh, he's into the pits. He's given up a point scoring position to go for the fastest lap. That is a very odd choice. Oh, who's dropping down? It's Luge. It seems to be okay, but he has dropped down to P9. Trying to see if we can get back past Callum. He's going to get out of position on penalties in a way because Callum's got 12 seconds, so real need. He's going to get unmuted as well as he's on 18. So it's all a bit mixed up actually because Callum will go ahead of all muted, but you drop behind Luge. Dubs is just outside the range of Callum at the moment, so it stands right now. Callum would stay ahead of Dubs. So I think overall, I think Callum would stay 8th, which means 4 points. At the moment, his teammates in 2nd, so that'd be 22 to Haas's 37, so slightly bigger swing of 15 points. Certainly looking like Haas is going to definitely take the Constructors' Championship into the final week. Drivers we've not seen much of. The bottom two there are in AI, so forget Shotmaker and Segal. Attack. Yeah, we've not got a chance to see him much this week. He is going for a fastest lap here, so keeping on his sets of time. I'm sure he's going to be well up. I don't know if he'll even get the fastest lap point because he's going to be outside the top 10, so not sure what the league rules are on that. So that would be an odd scenario. It means he would have pitted from P10 where he'd have picked up a point to do the fastest lap, finishing 11th, where he won't get a point. So I'm not 100% sure on the league rules on that one. But I assume if the fastest lap's outside the top 10, nobody will get it. Get a point for it anyway. He comes then, and it's 1 minute 35 flat, so it's the fastest lap of the race and will stay so as well. Jalen cruising towards the podium. Apex within the 3 seconds, just in case Jalen was to pick up a late penalty. Dubs gets himself an extra 3 seconds, and that should confirm for definite that Callum will hold that position, because it was actually getting really tight. The gap is almost 9 seconds, which is what he needed to be inside, so maybe in pushing to try and get within the 9 seconds, he's picked himself an extra 3 up. So, still, well, going to pick up the final point. As all my apologies to Echo, I didn't realise he was so close to the line, but victory for Echo in America. JTP2 for Aston Martin to keep their advantage in the Constructors. Jalen fills out the podium for P3. Apex in the second Haas P4. So Haas really bringing the points differential down for the last race of the season. Panda in P5, 10th Cannon 6. All muted. Finishes or crosses the line P7, but he's going to drop down. Luge jumps Callum and all muted up to P7. Callum actually stays where he was in P8, so we'll pick up 4 points. All muted drops to 9th then. Dubs Gamer rounds out the top 10. Fatak, as we saw, took the fastest lap, but so I don't know if he'll get the point for that or not. So to see. So the gap. Remember, obviously, the standings are all provisional. Provisional standings, or sorry, results. I mean, barring any instant reports and that from the stewards. So the monster podium. Congratulations, Echo brings home, I think, his 4th race win of the season. He's already clinched championship, as we know. Congratulations to him. Any of the drivers that I'm not going to be doing podium interviews, guys. So any drivers that may be waiting for that, don't worry. So yeah, so I make it then. So 7 points gained there. 12 to 4, so a further 8. Yeah, so 15 points gained is what I worked that out as, which means a 19-point gap going into the final race of the season. As I say, it is pending any stewards' reports. Just quickly scroll through that for guys who do the standings and instance. I'll just quickly scroll through in case the stewards want us to look at. They can start and pause it just to go through if they need to. So there we go. That gets those. Pit stops if you want. So there we go. In a way, that's our round 20 of the season. COTA. Final race of the season next week, where the Constructors' Championship will be decided. For that second spot in the drivers as well, JT is taking a big step forward in that. Ludlow was the third driver as well. 10th Cannon has done well this evening as well. Patak will have dropped off a bit outside the points. So, yeah, it looks like JT's put a real marker down for a P2 in the Drivers' Championship. And I think 10th Cannon has probably put his name down for P3. So, wait, we'll see how that all winds up. Just double checking what track it is next week. I've got a feeling it's Brazil, but if I can find the calendar, where is it? There it is. Yeah, I'm right. Yeah, so it's Brazil to finish us off next week, guys. We're into Lagos. Yeah, always used to be a season ender, didn't it? So should be a good one to finish up. I'll see where that Constructors' Trophy goes to in the final standings. But well done to the drivers tonight on the whole. Some really good battling. There was some rather aggressive moves going on at times, but all in all, it was really good. So well done tonight, guys. And COTA's not the easiest in the world, so well done. Right then, for myself, guys, I will be back tomorrow night for WAOF1, so please come and join me for that. That's at 8 p.m. And then I got my couple of days break from the streaming after that. But yeah, see you tomorrow night if you fancy it. Always a great race with the likes of Car Seat and Reed competing among many others like Moon Rider as well. Racing J. Anyway, guys, thank you very much. Good night. God bless. Enjoy the rest of your weeks. Stay safe, and I'll see you soon.